Hey guys, welcome back. So today I figured I would show you guys how I do my makeup in the summer because it gets really hot and sticky and humid here in Florida, and if I'm not careful my makeup will slip right off my face in like 10 minutes. So I showed you guys how I get this look. This is basically my summer routine, just how I keep my makeup locked in place all day long when I'm out in the gross heat. So I hope you guys liked today's video, and without further ado, let's jump right into it. Okay, so don't mind me, I look a little crazy right now because I already have most of my eyes done. I really just wanted to focus on the base because that's the part that's really gonna need the help during the summer heat. I did want to mention though that this eye look is basically what I do on a daily basis during the summer. If you can see there, it's just very basic with a pop of shimmer in the inner corner. It's basically 2 shades in the crease in the outer corner and then just a nice shimmer on the inner corner to pop. I find that this is just the easiest way to keep my eyeshadow looking not crazy during the summer. I've talked about it before. I have really oily eyelids and eyeshadow just wears away very quickly on me. Even when I prime and set and all that, it just doesn't work well. So I like to do something very basic that is going to wear away gracefully, because if I do something, you know, super smoky and intricate, it's very obvious by the end of the day that I'm missing chunks of my eyeshadow. So I like to do something like this where it's just gonna wear away very gracefully and look semi-normal by the end of the day. So moving on to the skin, y'all know I love a nice dewy, glowy, moisturized base, but dewy foundations don't normally have the lasting power that I'm really looking for in these hot summer day situations where I know I'm going to be outside all day long and I need my foundation to stay in place. So for that, I'll usually go in with a matte foundation, but I still like a glowy base. So I will use a moisturizing glowy primer like this one. This is the Pixi Beauty Rose Flash Balm. Y'all know I have been obsessed with this lately, and it's basically just perfect for summer. Also remember that during the summer, it's even more important to use some sort of sunscreen, whether it's in your foundation, whether it's in your primer, whether it's actually a regular sunscreen on your skin. It's very, very, very important. You don't want to end up with skin cancer when you're in your 30s, because that will happen if you don't take care of it now. In my skincare routine, I have my Physicians Formula vitamin C oil that has SPF 30 in it, so that's just what I use on a daily basis. So like I said, I like to go in with a matter foundation when I'm really needing my skin to lock into place all day long. And so for that, I'm going to be reaching for the Covergirl Trueblend Matte Made Foundation. I have mine in the shade L20, which isn't a perfect shade for me. It's a little pinker than I like, but it kind of works. So I do already have a dedicated review on this foundation on my channel, so I will link that down below in case you're interested in my full thoughts. But I'm just going to blend this all into my skin using the L'Oreal sponge. So I did build up 2 layers on my cheeks just because I like to get as much coverage as I can out of this foundation. It's definitely a medium coverage. You're not going to get full coverage really if you have, you know, not perfect skin, but I like to build it up as much as possible to get just that little bit of extra coverage. I left my forehead with 1 layer though, but as you can see, the primer underneath really adds a nice level of dew, but it's still a matte foundation, so it's really going to lock in place and stay all day like we're looking for. So for concealer, I want something that's fairly high coverage, not super full coverage, but not light coverage either, because our foundation is, you know, kind of in that same area where it's not super full coverage, but it's not light coverage either. And I want to make sure that it's something that sets really nicely and lasts all day on me. So for that, I'm actually going to combine these 2. This is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind and the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. I have the Maybelline in Fair and the Makeup Revolution in C1. This is just going to add a touch more coverage and matteness, and I just honestly like this concealer, so I just like to mix it into everything. So I'm going to do this one all over, and then I'm going to put just a tiny little dab of this on the inner corner. This one also has a really nice yellow shade to it, so it's really going to help brighten that area because the Maybelline one is a lot closer to my skin tone. And then I'm just going to blend that out. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my regular Makeup Forever Ultra HD powder and use my sponge to push that into the under eye. Y'all know I just love this powder for the blurring effect that it gives my under eye. Just makes it look so perfect. It's crazy. And then I'm going to go ahead and take the Mercier powder, also on my sponge, and set my cheek area because it is still a little tacky, so that I can blend stuff on top of it, but also because it's going to elongate the wear time. But because we're using the sponge to press it in, it's not going to add a massive layer of powder that is going to look gross and cakey on my dry skin. Now, for the last step with the powder, I'm actually going to do my favorite trick for the summer, which is to bake right here where sunglasses sit, because obviously I'm wearing sunglasses a lot in the summer and I like to minimize the amount of the sunglasses marks that I end up getting. This doesn't totally prevent it, but I find that it definitely does help, and honestly I'm just looking for any help I can get. So I'm just going to take the Mercier powder on the tip of my sponge here, and I'm just going to put it right there where sunglasses sit. A nice heavy amount of it. And I'm just going to let that chill there while I do the rest of my makeup. So for bronzer during the summer, I love a nice like glowy bronzer, not like shimmery or anything, but just a nice glow. I don't like a totally matte bronzer. I just feel like it looks better during the summer. It looks a little more youthful and all of that. So I'm actually going to take this HOURGLASS palette. This was their holiday one that they come out with every year, but the bronzer in here is one of their regular bronzers that you can get. It's the Luminous Bronze Light shade. So I'm going to take that on this e.l.f. highlighting brush. It's one of my favorite ones to bronze with because I have a fairly small face and I don't like to overwhelm it with a lot of bronzer all over my cheek area, so I like to use this because I can really be precise with where it's going to sit right there on my cheekbone. This is a very like light natural bronzer, which I like. I'm not all about bronzer, but I do like the way it looks some days. Now, whether or not I do blush kind of depends just on my mood, what kind of mood I'm in, kind of on a whim type of situation. I'm not going to do it today just because this foundation is a little more pink than I normally do, so I feel like my cheeks are already pink enough and I don't want to exasperate that. But of course we are going to go in with highlighter because, I mean, is it summer if you're not just plowing on, that's not the right word, piling on the highlighter. So I have a few different options that I would normally go in with. The first one is the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops. The liquid highlighter is just really perfect for summer if you're going for a really low-key type of look because it really just blends seamlessly into the face. And I love the way that looks. However, I did already powder, so this is not what we're going in with today. Now, my other two options would be something very, very not natural, because this definitely isn't natural, but it's definitely a glowy natural type of look. These are just some of the most beautiful everyday glowy type of highlighter. I don't even know how to explain it properly. They kind of melt into the skin and make it look like you're glowing from within, but in a really intense way. By the way, these are the HOURGLASS metallic strobe lighting highlighters if you were not familiar. And then we can go in with something a little more intense, which would be the Flower Beauty Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette. These highlighters are just like the most intense highlighters that I've seen in a very long time. Without being glittery or anything, they're so intense. I love them. For the purpose of today's look, because I am kind of going a little more low-key on the rest of the face, I think I'm going to go with the HOURGLASS one just because, I don't know, it seems like it fits a little bit more. So I'm going to take just a basic tapered highlighting brush. I don't even know where this is from. I think it came in like an Ipsy bag. And I'm going to take the middle shade here, which is like a nice yellow shade. I'll pick up a healthy amount. So I think you can see that here. It's definitely not natural. It's very intense, but the way that it sits on the skin and blends out, it just looks like it's coming from your skin. I don't even know how to describe it. Okay, so now I'm just going to take another taper highlighting brush. This is not the one we use for bronzer. And I'm just going to wipe away that bake. Okay, so I went ahead and finished up everything else. I did my brows, kind of bold, but that's just kind of what I do. I added mascara. I've been using the Flower Beauty Lash Warrior lately, and I've been having really great success with it. Looking good on my lashes, but also staying well and not smudging everywhere. So this is a great summer mascara in my opinion. I use the highlighter that we use on our face on the inner corner and the brow bone just to add a little dimension there. And then I went ahead and threw on a gloss because that's just kind of what I've been reaching for a lot lately. So I used the Fenty Beauty Gloss Balm. I just love glosses for summer. They're so easy. You don't have to worry about color getting everywhere or anything like that. And as long as they're not like super sticky or goopy, you shouldn't have to worry too much about hair getting stuck in it, which I really love about this one because it's not super sticky. So I don't worry too much about hair getting stuck in it and all of that. However, we do have one final step, which is setting spray. Of course, you gotta set your face. It's just gonna help so much with longevity. So I obviously love the Too Faced Hangover 3-in-1 setting spray. This has just been one of my favorites for like a year now. It's just such a good setting spray. So I'm gonna go ahead and douse my face in that, and then we'll be done. And then I'll just take my sponge and kind of bounce over everything. Make sure there's no water droplets that are gonna like leave a stain. And just kind of melt everything together. I feel like it just leaves a really nice look to the skin when you melt everything together with your sponge afterwards. It just gives a more put together and melted look. So love doing that. And this is the final look. Just something super light, easy, put together, but that's gonna last all day long in the hot, humid, gross summer heat. So I hope you guys liked today's video. I will have all the products listed and linked down below in case you want to check them out for yourself. But other than that, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!